Hello, agents. Welcome to the Ingress Insights podcast, hosted by PkmnTrainerJ. Ingress Insights aims to give you the latest news and updates about the Niantic Spatial game Ingress. Whether you're a veteran agent who has recursed 17 times or a brand new agent working to level 8, wondering what a fracker is, this is your place for the latest Ingress news and discussions. 2026 sees Ingress renewed under Niantic Spatial and many new campaigns to engage agents. So, plenty to discuss. Share any thoughts by checking our social media links. Now, over to Ada.
Additional intel available.
Hello agents, welcome to Season 4 of Ingress Insights and the first episode of 2026. First of all, Happy New Year to all of you. Second of all, because it is the new year and things are just kind of starting again at workplaces, there's not a lot of Ingress news to go through, but I will go through what we have on here and go and for some various little bits that have happened over the Christmas and holiday break. First of all, there's no further update on Plus Gamma, but the most recent Saturday that's past the 3rd of January was the first Saturday of the year, and also the first Saturday where you could earn Plus Gamma points for your faction, and earn season points as well towards that, and as I say, Plus Gamma points towards your badge. So if you have been able to participate in a first Saturday this month, you're already ahead of most of the players, I'd imagine. But you will be able to get the points in February and March if you weren't able to attend a first Saturday this month. So you can always look and speak with your local Enlightened if you're Resistance, or Resistance if you're Enlightened. Speak to someone you know on the other team and try and get a first Saturday organised new area where you can get at least 10 agents involved. And then that'll help all your locals and anyone visiting to get a bit close to the Plus Gamma medal, and also get a few little season points, just 0.1 season points per agent attending. So obviously you get more from your faction if you can do that. For the new year as well, the Ingress team shared a few images saying about some stats for agents, so I'm going to run through them here. They said in 2025, Ingress agents walked 42,323,996 kilometers, equivalent to 1,506 trips around Earth. 2,570,000,000,025,814,510 XM was used to recharge the portal network. They say that's a lot of hypercubes. Agents deployed 714,002,908 resonators, averaging 23 deploys every second. And agents captured 128,878,681 portals in Aalborg to Zamboanga, the planet, and Happy New Year agents. Obviously having the whole from A to Z thing. I guess they could have used a grab because there's a anomaly thing there, but never mind. So those are impressive stats for saying the game is obviously 13 years old. What was not so impressive over the Christmas break, holiday break time, which I'm sure you'll be aware of if you are an active agent, is there was about 8 hours of downtime on the Ingress app from the 28th of December for most people. Some people it went into the 29th of December, where agents were unable to log in or do anything in the game unless they were already logged in. Even when you were logged in, there's still little you could do on it. But if you hadn't logged into the game, you'd logged out, you were unable to get into Ingress for about 8.5 hours. The team didn't respond as to what the issue was, but they did post on their social channels on the 29th of December to say, issue resolved, sorry for the disruption, please accept this alert as a token of our apology. It is now gone, so you can't claim this, I just want to cover what was in it. We've added a loadout kit to the store as an apology for the login issue that occurred on Sunday 28th of December 2025, which prevented agents from signing in. This free bundle is available to all agents for the next 48 hours and contains 3 Apex, 3 rare kinetic capsules, 40 XMP bursts, 40 resonators, and 40 power cubes. We apologise for cannon downtime and disruption to your operations. So it obviously was annoying, hit a nerve with a lot of agents that they couldn't log in and play the game during that time. Some agents, I believe, missed their dailies. Some agents missed doing bounties. I just made quite a few memes about it instead. So you can see those on the Ingress subreddit if you're interested in scroll back to the 28th of December. Then for other Ingress news, there's still the New Year campaigns going on, and they run until the 5th of January. at 6 p.m. UTC. So do complete those if you do have them. There's obviously the standard New Year 2026 celebration, which is a free one available to everybody. I finished that about 5 minutes before recording this podcast. Had to do a few more glyph hacks to get my few glyph hack points on there and then get my fireworks. So a bit late being the 3rd of January for fireworks, but never mind. There's also the New Year 2026 Premier one, that's the 15,000 CMU one to pick up, where you get the medal if you complete all the tasks on there. Then finally, we do still have campaigns running. There's all the Redux campaigns running. The Polaris campaign is still running until next month. The Running Man campaign finished on December the 31st. So if you were unable to do that, you've not got the rewards for completing that campaign, but there's no badge in it if you're not bothered about that. I expect we'll have a lot more campaigns coming up in January and February as well. I expect one for Valentine's Day, maybe one for Lunar New Year as well. One little weird thing I did want to call out before getting into other bits of news is that if you go on the Ingress web store, it's just ingressmerch.myshopify.com until they come up with a proper web address for it. You'll see the only thing that's now listed in the store is the large toast plushie, which I say is now sold out anyway, so there's nothing to buy. However, I did find it a bit weird, and some other agents mentioned it to me as well, that the order support on there just shows Brian Rose's email as a direct thing to go to on there. So it looks like Brian's also managing the Ingress store himself alongside Ingress, Recon, and the Kojima project. So it's quite a lot on there. I hope he's being properly compensated for managing all of that. As I said, a bit more of a standard thing. Just a reminder, is second Sunday next weekend. So do make sure you've got your scans ready, or you know what missions you're doing, where you're going to be out and about. Then I just want to cap things off with some Recon related data. So as you know, Recon has been out for a little while now. As I record this on the 3rd of January, it's still only accessible to level 16 or recurse agents. The level hasn't dropped as yet. I did want to just spend a bit of time though going through one of the tooltips or categories, something like that, on Recon, just to stress a few points and hopefully make things a bit clearer for people that can't access it yet, just to be clear on what reviewers are seeing, what they're going through. So this time I'm just going to go in order and cover the appropriate tooltip. So if you're voting for a new portal, it asks you appropriate. Is the location appropriate to be visited by pedestrians? And in all these, you can click the little eye to get some more information, just so they clarify that more for you. So the Niantic Spatial team, Recon team, say these locations are appropriate. Any location that is accessible publicly to pedestrians, both indoors and outdoors, is appropriate, including the following locations. Restricted locations, so locations that restrict access to a subset of people, so a gated community or members only locations, and things on military basis. So if there's a gated community that can only access a playground, that's a valid portal, but you can't reject it because a subset of people can still access it. Ticketed locations are okay. So they're locations that require a ticket to access, like theme parks, museums that require a ticket to enter. So you could have obviously portals at Disneyland, Disney World, I know, Thought Park, wherever you want to go. You need to have a ticket to go in there, but it's still fine to have portals that are there because they're accessible to the people that buy a ticket. Businesses, so business locations are okay for indoor locations and business for items with for purchase. Again, that may apply to a subset of people can access this, as in employees that work at that business and can access the valid portal that's at that location. Then they say these locations are not appropriate. So on private property, being a single family private residential property, even if historical, and farmland, that also counts under private property. School, a K-12 and under school, but K-12 means nothing to anyone outside the US, so they do clarify it here. So they mean preschool, primary school / elementary school, secondary / high school, or a childcare / daycare centre. Adult locations are not appropriate, so a location is an adult-oriented store or service, such as a liquor store, shooting range, firearm store, or provides sexual and/or adult content. So I don't know, I'm trying to think of something that would be here. A liquor store that's probably well known in the UK is Bargain Booze, so that wouldn't be eligible because it's aimed at adults. We don't really have shooting ranges, firing ranges here, but I think an archery range would also not be suitable because it's aimed at adults and it's a dangerous place to be wandering around getting portals. sensitive locations are not appropriate. So they give examples of funeral homes, burial grounds, cemeteries, memorials, plantations, political campaign offices, concentration camps, homeless shelters, abortion clinics, domestic violence shelters, jails/prisons, bail bonds places, and graveyards. I'm going to caveat this a little bit that they do say in other things that things within graveyards can be acceptable. So they use things like graves of famous people. There may be a chapel on the grounds of a graveyard that's acceptable where they hold services, things like that. Next, they note that locations that obstruct emergency operations are not appropriate. So these locations that obstruct the driveways of emergency services or may interfere with the operation of fire stations, police stations, hospitals, military bases, industrial sites, power plants, or air traffic control towers. So you might notice there's a bit of a conflict there. So in the first bit, they say that military bases can be okay, can be appropriate, but then they say that things that interfere with the operation of military bases are not okay. So you need to make sure that wherever you're placing in a military base as a portal doesn't interfere with the general operation of it. Then finally, they say that a generic location is not appropriate. So this would be a generic business, chain, or franchise that's not uniquely important to the local community. So I know a McDonald's or a Costa Coffee or a Sofology store, something like that is not appropriate, does it say? And for the ones that are not appropriate, you'll be able to choose from the list if you click thumbs down on appropriate, and then that would reject the application. If it's all good, then you tick thumbs up. If you're not sure, you can test I don't know, and that will move on to your next one there. It's only by selecting the thumbs down and then selecting an option on there that seems like it will reject the application. Reject the nomination at that point. Sorry, too many job applications that are not going. But that's all. I just wanted to go through a quick one of the tooltips on Recon. I'll probably try and do that at the end of each episode whilst we don't have any Recon news, just to try and help make things a bit clearer for those that aren't doing it yet, or maybe you want to get into it and you find things a bit confusing. Obviously, you can drop me any questions you've got about Recon, ask me any questions, I can try and answer them. I did do quite a large amount of time as a Niantic Wayfarer ambassador, and the Recon system seems to have just basically ported that over for now. Maybe there'll be some changes on Wayfarer side, maybe there'll be some changes on Recon side, but for now, all the rules and guides are the exact same. That's all I've got for this week then, agents. Hope you have a great Sunday, and hope you've had a lovely Christmas break, holiday break. You've spent time with family, friends, by yourself. If you want to do that, that's absolutely fine as well. Hope you look forward to seeing what Ingress has for 2026 and what I'll be doing with the podcast in 2026 as well. And hope you keep listening and that you have a great day, as I said, and happy hacking. Thank you, agents, for listening to the latest episode of the Ingress Insights podcast. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can do that in a couple of ways. So the easiest way to support the podcast is via Patreon. So you can find at patreon.com/Ingress Insights. And there's a free tier, a $1 a month tier, whatever that is in your local currency, and a $5 a month tier. You can check out what benefits those come with on the Patreon. One other thing you can do that's totally free that helps out a lot is rating the podcast on your podcast service of choice. So where you can leave a rating or leave comments, that always helps increase visibility. And then finally, you can follow us on various social media channels. We use most of them, but the best one to follow us on now is Blue Sky. So that's just ingressinsights.bsky.social. Search for Ingress Insights on Blue Sky, you'll find us on there. Finally, sharing the podcast with friends, family, other agents who want to listen and get updates, so it helps out and helps get interviews with various Ingress people or other game related people to then increase visibility more. So anything you can do from those is great. Thanks again for listening, agents. Have a great day.
Intel package transferred.